CTV News with Sarah Freemark.
This type of Grinch-like activity is just totally unacceptable.
Grinches have seemingly snuck around Barrie's waterfront, stealing a display worth thousands. Thank you for joining us. It's a sign that the holiday season is upon us. The halls are decked, the lights are hung, and the trees are decorated. But with that festive spirit also comes what police are calling Grinch-like behavior. CTV's Rob Cooper explains.
Police are looking for a Grinch who has stolen a piece of holiday spirit from Barrie's waterfront. This bear display, set up by the Rotary Club, was stolen just days after being put up for the season.
Very unfortunate that vandalism, there's no need for it, and everybody seems to enjoy the scenery and the lights, and that's unfortunate.
The Rotary Club says the display was part of its Festivals of Tree event. It was hit twice in the past week. Some items stolen, others vandalized.
So it is very frustrating to see that happen, and honestly, we're just hoping that if somebody sees one of our displays around or has any knowledge of it, get the product back to us. We'll happily repair it and get it back out. Police have been notified and are investigating, saying they hope someone saw something or perhaps a nearby business with video cameras may have captured those responsible.
Now that we're aware of this activity taking place, we'll be increasing patrols in the area to make sure that this doesn't happen, and the remaining displays are left for the intended purpose, for the enjoyment of all of our community.
The Rotary Club says the stolen items and damage caused is pegged at about $3,000. It's been doing the display for 15 years and hopes to continue it in the future.
You know what? Somebody made a bad decision, and we're hoping that maybe they regret the decision or somebody knows of it and you can get the stuff back to us.
Vandals shouldn't be vandalizing things, period, at any time. Other people spend a lot of time and money putting things together.
Now, police are asking anyone who may know the whereabouts of these stolen bears or who is responsible to come forward. As for Rotary, they simply want the items returned, no questions asked. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Barrie.
Provincial police have launched their annual Festive RIDE campaign.
Impaired driving continues to be one of the leading causes of criminal death on our highways. We have had 34 people die already in OPP investigations this year in alcohol or drug-related crashes. We do tens of thousands of ride events every single year, and this year is no exception. And now as we launch the Festive RIDE campaign, it's just an awareness campaign to really remind people that they're going out. If you're going to be drinking, don't drive. If you're going to be driving, don't drink. It is up to everyone's responsibility to make sure we all get home safely, and we need to share the roads in a way that we can all feel safe and secure.
As part of the initiative to promote traffic enforcement, residents will see an increased police presence throughout the holiday season on our roads. While housing affordability remains a challenge right across the country, the recreational property market is going strong near our region's largest ski resort. Here's CTV's Mike Lang.
As Blue Mountain gets ready for ski season, property sales around the resort have been on the rise, even though listings have remained high.
Condo in Snowbridge area are between 600 to 800,000, and detached homes in the Snowbridge area are in around 1.3, 1.5, 2 million.
According to a report by Royal LePage, overall sales were up nearly 19% year over year for Collingwood, Meaford, and Thornbury, with the median price of a detached home increasing by nearly 4% and the median price of a condo decreasing by just over 6%.
Skiers are mostly investors or person that can afford skiing and can afford a second property.
The LePage report comes just over a year after the town of the Blue Mountains officially declared a housing crisis. Peggy Hill attributing the report to tariffs and snowbirds transferring their investments from U.S. properties to Canadian properties.
We definitely in Ontario are in a recession. So during a recession, I don't think that people are going to be out buying ski chalets.
Hill adding that sales remain down between Springwater and Oromadante.
Buyers are very cautious with what they're going to buy, and sellers are taking longer to adjust to this new marketplace.
Resorts of Ontario is reporting they get more than 50,000 page views per month of people looking for extended stays at resorts across the province.
Despite the high cost of living, people are still making it, whether they're coming for the day or staying overnight, but like usually we do see a lot of overnight trips just due to the seasonality of the winter.
And Horseshoe Valley reporting that they continue to see nearly 60,000 overnight guests per year.
We do have residents on site year-round. There was more of a shift back to that through COVID, where people started to really want to live where they play more.
Royal LePage is forecasting that the median price of a single-family detached home near Blue will increase by 7% over the next 12 months. Mike Lang, CTV News.
It is almost time to flip the switch on one of the most popular festive displays in our region. As CTV's Jack Morris tells us, it's always a fan favorite. Jack.
Well, thanks, Sarah. Here I am at Magic of Lights at Springwater Provincial Park. It's a 2-kilometer loop you can take with your car with 2 million lights. Now, here with me is John Schraw. John, your guys have been working on this for how long?
We started October 6th, so a little over 6 weeks.
So tell me, what has been the most challenging part of getting this big display together?
The biggest thing is because we're in a forest, so you have trees to deal with and the weather. We had some rain, some snow. It always adds to the challenge, for sure.
I would say so. Now, we've seen a lot of displays here. Talk about some of the displays. What can you expect to see when you come?
We have some of the regular stuff like Victorian, Enchanted Tunnel, Canadian Tunnel. We've got a few surprises this year. We brought in Candyland. Deer Tunnel's different this year, and we've extended on the Blizzard Tunnel.
And of course, you've got the reindeer rest area. Am I saying that right?
That is correct.
So tell me, what is that?
It's just an out-of-car experience where you can park in the parking lot, go for a walk. You can have your beaver tail, sit by the campfire, and just enjoy this great park that we have here.
So there's a lot of displays here. Which one's your favorite, John?
I personally like the Blizzard Tunnel. It just reminds me of the wintertime, driving down the road with the snow falling.
Now, this is a big experience. A lot of people come through. About how many cars come through here every year?
We usually get 20 to 22,000 cars come through. Busy nights are, of course, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays. I recommend coming down on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to a little more relaxed pace and enjoy the show.
Now, of course, it's been 4 years that you've been here doing this. What's changed since last year, since you started?
Well, we've added, like I said, the Blizzard Tunnel's extended. We've got Candyland, some more candy canes. We changed up the Deer Tunnel. It's different. We've changed up the village. So it's another experience again compared to last year.
So for you and your guys who are working on this, what is the best part?
The best part for me is actually seeing people happy and joyful.
And when is the best time to come down?
The best time, in my opinion, is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night. It's not that busy. The village isn't busy. You can actually enjoy your beaver tail and just enjoy this park just outside of Barrie.
Okay. All right. Well, we're here at Magic of Lights. It starts tomorrow and runs all the way till January 3rd in the evening. Sarah, back to you.
I love a good beaver tail. Case will have to load up the CTV Barrie bus and roll on through. We have one of those, right?
Oh yeah. We've got a lot of. Oh no. Oh no. I want to find out more about the reindeer rest. I like that. We had a few reindeer out here, as a matter of fact, last night after the show. I think they were reindeer anyway. Yes, they were magic. Let's talk about magic as far as a first look at the forecast. Is there any Christmas magic in the early Christmas magic in the forecast, I might add? First look at the forecast brought to you by Presler Injury Law. Call 1-800-JUSTICE. 3 degrees out here, entirely pleasant. Winds are calm out of the south, 9 kilometers an hour. Let's take a look at the temperature outside your door. 6 degrees in Owen Sound. Very, very mild. -1 in Gravenhurst, -2 in Algonquin Park, where the wild things are, and holding steady at 0 in Newmarket. This is a look at the radar satellite image, and I want to direct your attention to the far top left of the screen. Active weather. Yes, active weather. Is it to make it to our area? That up there on the far left-hand side, up around the Sioux, is looking like some snow flurries and some rain. Coming up in just a few minutes' time, an early look at the weekend and see if it's festive or a flop. One of the two. All that coming up in a few minutes' time. Back inside Sarah.
Thanks, Case. Provincial police are investigating a deadly crash in Collingwood after a pedestrian was hit and killed Wednesday night. Emergency crews were called to the scene on Mountain Road between 10th Line and Kells Crescent, where a woman was hit by a vehicle just before 10 p.m.
It's an area where it's not very common to see pedestrians or even cyclists for that matter. It's a very busy roadway, especially during the daytime. So this is why we're obviously investigating it fully. The driver of the vehicle remained at scene to assist again police and to certainly give a witness statement as to what took place.
As the investigation continues, anyone with dash cam footage from the area around the time of that collision is asked to contact the OPP. 5 people have been injured after a multi-vehicle collision. This happened at Terminal 3 at the Pearson Airport. Peel police say 6 vehicles were involved in the crash just before 7 this morning. Police say it may have been caused by a medical episode. All 5 of the pedestrians who were hurt have minor injuries. 3 had to be taken to hospital. The airport says some of the inner curb lanes outside Terminal 3 departures are closed for the investigation, but other than that, there is no impact on airport operations. There's an ongoing murder investigation in Adjala-Tossarantio, followed what the OPP called a suspicious death. As CTV's Mike Arcelides reports, police are now asking for the public's help.
You cannot divulge the relationship?
Correct. The nature of the relationship is part of the ongoing investigation.
44-year-old Ranjit Singh Cheema appeared in a Barrie courtroom charged with second-degree murder following the death of 41-year-old Sukhdeep Cheema at their Sparrow Way home in Adjala-Tossarantio Saturday night. Police have not identified the woman found dead as his wife. However, neighbors tell CTV News the accused, his wife Sukhdeep, their teenage son, and Ranjit Cheema's parents all lived in the home for about a year. Cheema was arrested on Tuesday, 3 days after what provincial police called a suspicious death investigation. Police haven't said how the woman died or why it took 3 days to charge the accused.
It all depends on the situation where the investigation leads us. In this instant, it happened on November 15, and the charge was laid on November 18.
During his court appearance by video from the police station in Alliston Wednesday afternoon, Cheema was ordered not to communicate with 18 people, including loved ones. The court heard Cheema's family is trying to retain Toronto defense lawyer David Locke. Cheema, the court heard, required medical attention for a seizure disorder and recent cancer surgeries. Investigators asking anyone with information in the case to come forward.
Maybe you were driving around, you have dashcam footage. If you do, of the area, please give us a call.
Cheema is scheduled to return to a virtual Barrie courtroom from jail in Penetanguishene on Tuesday. The allegations against him have not been tested in court. Mike Arcelides, CTV News, Adjala-Tossarantio.
The Ford government has introduced legislation aimed at prioritizing Ontario-made goods and services in the procurement process. CTV's Siobhan Morris has more on the Buy Ontario Act.
Whether it's patching up a road, building a new school, or establishing a mass transit line, the Ford government wants to make sure Ontario materials and services are in the thick of things. A response to the U.S. tariffs still squeezing the economy and workers, the government's tabled the Buy Ontario Act.
Would require public sector organizations to give preference to Ontario or Canadian-made goods and services when making purchases.
It's Ontario first, Canada second. Goods from elsewhere will need to be justified. To start, the rules would apply to provincial ministries, agencies, the broader public sector, right down to school boards. Next, consultation with cities and towns.
Municipalities, for the most part, have been supportive, and I think we're going to see through the consultative process that they will be on board with this legislation.
There's an acknowledgement buying local could be more expensive, but Minister Crawford explains looking for the lowest ticket price doesn't always paint a full picture.
We know that when we spend money locally, we support our local businesses, we support our communities, so there will be a weighting that will actually be put down in terms of what's the supply chain benefit right here locally.
The opposition proposed something like this earlier this fall.
We're going to look very closely at it because this government before has proposed things like that, and then we found all kinds of loopholes.
Alberta and Quebec have similar policies, but there's worry about workers in other provinces making stuff for Ontario now.
And so you wouldn't want Buy Ontario to become an interprovincial barrier, so it's kind of counterintuitive. So that's why I'm saying the devil's in the details, right?
The goal is to compile a list of Ontario suppliers to draw from to take out some of the guesswork.
I can't tell you how many small and medium-sized businesses in Ontario tell me it is almost impossible to engage in procurement with the province of Ontario. So until they fix that, this is just a slogan and not a solution.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
It is a cost of living crisis, with Canadians facing some sobering choices these days when it comes to affordability. We learned today that food insecurity has reached a record high in our country, with far too many people struggling to figure out how to feed their families as those grocery prices, they continue to climb. CTV's John Benavali-Rao on what people are doing as the cost of food, of course, remains a top concern.
When it comes to attitudes towards food prices, the survey found they remain a top expense pressure
for households.
My experience is they've been going up, 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 up.
The report finding many Canadians are increasingly challenged by persistent food inflation, and it's been changing how they shop, cook, and eat in order to cope.
Canadians are adopting frugal habits, like switching brands, looking for coupons, discounts when they're buying products.
The survey, in fact, finding almost half of the 3,000 respondents are seeking out more sales and discounts. Nearly a quarter are using more coupons and shopping at cheaper stores as they try to make ends meet.
But yeah, you can find deals and sales all the time.
With more than a quarter reporting they struggle to afford food, up from nearly 23% a year ago. Food banks have reported a huge surge in the number of families seeking help.
Nice to get it out there. Like, this is so good that people are talking about it.
Karina Roberts is a single mom with 3 boys who says she may need to start going to a food bank every 2 weeks.
They are helpful, but I mean, then again, sometimes they don't have everything either. And it's a lot of canned stuff. And that's great. It's awesome that there's that help, but there's not a lot of fresh. There's not a lot of meat. There's not a lot of fruit.
The survey found many Canadians are prioritizing eating at home to manage costs. And on average, respondents say they now pay $515 a month for household food, compared to under $500 in the spring, which is a modest increase. On that front, many do overestimate the rate of food inflation this year. Almost 1 in 3 believe prices have gone up more than 10% over the last year, nearly triple the actual amount. And while affordability is still a major issue, the survey also finding that Canadians are cautiously optimistic that food costs may somewhat stabilize in 2026. John Benavelli-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Canadians are walking less, and fewer than half of adults nationwide are meeting recommended fitness goals. Those are the findings from a new study looking at the country's overall physical activity. CTV's Kelly Gregg has more on how people are trying to stay in shape.
This is your morning routine every day?
Every day.
How far do you go in the morning?
In the morning before work, just about 5 minutes because I got to get to work, but he normally gets a walk. The least amount of time is a half an hour.
Bosco and his human, Melanie Chernovsky, are a staple on the streets of NDG. And if their twice daily walks weren't enough exercise, Chernovsky also owns this gym. Over the last few years, she's heard from clients who spent the pandemic on the couch.
The majority of people that I've spoken to just felt like they were lazy. They didn't have a routine, so people just felt very sedentary.
6 years ago, about half of Canadians aged 18 to 79 were taking 7,500 steps per day. But that pace has slowed and even gone backwards. Now it's about 32% taking the same amount of steps.
I think I do more than enough in a day, yeah. I'm in the medical field, so I'm up and down and walking back and forth all day long, yeah.
10,000 pas par jour.
Oh, wait.
Je monte le Mont-Royal à tous les jours.
For the last 3 days we have, and we've been visiting Montreal, yes, but normally no.
A new report card from Participaction.
Body Break.
Yes, the very same organization as Hal and Joanne shows less than half of Canadians are meeting recommended fitness levels. And again, the pandemic might be to blame.
We're working from home, but we're not moving at home. We're staying seated. We work in front of a computer.
Without a commute, there's less incentive to get outside and get moving.
This is something that we need to address. We see this more challenging than we thought.
The study also finds physical inactivity costs Canada $3.9 billion in avoidable health care costs every year. If the gym is too intimidating, Chernovsky recommends getting a smartwatch to at least track your steps. But getting started is half the battle.
Any kind of activity is a good activity, so if walking outside or just walking on a treadmill, if that's what works for you right now, that's going to get you started.
And if all else fails, a four-legged companion might help to at least get a step in the right direction. Kelly Gregg, CTV News.
Still to come, sprucing up homes for the holiday season. How you can help light up the lives of those less fortunate by donating a Christmas tree. Plus, it's a day dedicated to highlighting the rights of children and youth, and this creation in the Sunshine City will remain a constant reminder. Details next here on CTV News Barrie. Today is National Child Day, and in honor of it, a new art installation has been unveiled showcasing the talent and creativity of kids in the Sunshine City.
National Child Day gives us a moment to pause and honor the rights, voices, and experiences of children. Something at the very heart of everything we do here at Westridge. And honestly, there is no better way to mark this day than through art, collaboration, and giving children a place to express.
In collaboration with community partners, this bright and playful display of crafted birds will now live on at the West Ridge Early Education Center, a nonprofit organization that offers a wide range of programs for children aged 0 to 12.
It's so critical to the young ones that are here today, the early years, in developing their personality and who they will grow into and how they'll contribute to society. And I want to take my hats off to everybody here that works in the early childhood education and helps form the lives of these young ones, because they are truly our future.
Today's event also featured the launch of a child-friendly version of the Simcoe County Child and Youth Charter, a space with resources to help ensure every child is given an opportunity to reach their full potential. The best boys in volleyball are in our region for the All-Ontario Championships.
We're here to show what it means to be a Mustang. We worked hard to get here, and we're not going to stop working hard.
3 high schools in Simcoe County will be home to some high-level play over the next few days as 20 teams and about 300 athletes compete to make it to the top.
This is the best volleyball I've seen so far, and this is going to be the best boys AA volleyball we've seen for the year. I mean, this is great. A lot of these have done gold medal rounds last year, the years before, but these are the best schools in the province.
The finals for OFSA AA Volleyball Championships are on Saturday afternoon. The Salvation Army fundraising campaigns here in Barrie help new programs, events, and opportunities. The recently completed 12-unit temporary housing unit helps families that are struggling, and a hint of Christmas spirit, like a decorated tree, goes a long way. The Kettle campaign helps with so much over the holidays, and the power of a Christmas tree is a bit of holiday magic that is timeless.
Oh, well, a Christmas tree can really make any type of housing a home for the holidays, for those who celebrate the holiday. It really can just give a sense of this is our place, and it gives the kids something to look forward to. You know, the kids in our family shelter definitely struggle with trying to live a normal life given the circumstances they're currently facing.
The Barrie Salvation Army Santa Shuffle, Fun Run, and Elf Walk in the first week of December is a fun way to contribute to the many programs the Salvation Army offers. We've got a big job ahead of us building up a toy mountain this year. We're trying to help more than 3,000 children, teens, and their families with Simcoe Muskoka Family Connections. Once again this year, we're getting a boost from toy companies like Tony's. Here's CTV's Luke Simard.
Tonight in the Access Store's Toy Shop, it is all about using your senses like listening. And there's no better time than to highlight Tony's screen-free audio players. It's as easy as press play and let the adventures begin. This bright red Tony Box 2 comes with Playtime Puppy Tony, and it brings your favorite songs, stories, and interactive games to life. Perfectly designed for little hands and big imaginations, Tony Box 2 helps build confidence and independence while having fun. Includes features like an alarm and sleep timer with a light, making every moment throughout the day a great adventure. Continuing with Tony, how about a holiday classic, How the Grinch Stole Christmas? Pop it on your Tony box and follow the Grinch as well as Cindy Lou Who and discover the true meaning of the season. Sing along to the holiday classics with screen-free interactive fun. Turn potty time into a fun, cheerful adventure with the Potty Training Tony. Pop it right onto your Tony box and listen to silly songs and playful stories. How about an unforgettable adventure with lions, daring friendships, and the circle of life? 4 beloved songs from The Lion King. Little listeners will be swept up in the rhythms of adventure, sparking imagination. Time now to step onto the farm with this Tony's Farm Set. A squeezable cow, pig, and horse can be inserted into your Tony box and dive into farm adventures with some catchy songs and simple stories designed for tiny hands and thoughtful imagination. All of these great gifts from Tony are helping us build that toy mountain. In the Access Storage Toy Shop, I'm Luke Simard.
And you too can help build up that toy mountain. Drop off a new unwrapped toy or gift card at the CTV station, 33 Beacon Road here in Barrie. There's a toy box outside the front door. If you can't make it in person, go to ctvbarrie.ca. That click turns into toys. Now, tomorrow, Friday, we'll be at Tile Master on Ann Street from 4 to 7 p.m. as we continue the Toy Mountain campaign. So you can come drop off your toy or your donation. CTV's Luke Samard. More of the CTV team, plus our friends from Pure Country and 106 and Bounce 104 will be there as well. Still to come, bridging gaps for Indigenous education. A Mohawk matriarch from Muskoka is the subject of an award-winning documentary. She'll join us here in the CTV Barrie studio, but first, let's head outside. Case.
Ho, 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 there's Christmas parades this weekend in Cookstown, Angus, Gravenhurst, Midland, Innisfil, and Gravenhurst. But will it be festive for weather? Well, I'll have that answer for you in just a moment. And speaking of weather, our weather watcher Artie says, hey, I remember summer. Debbie says, this is a warm summer butterfly for you. Thank you, Debbie. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Picture this. Brought to you by Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
Still time to get one of those Smile cookies and support the Barrie Food Bank at any Tim Hortons here in our region. Thank you, everyone, for sharing those acts of kindness there. Keep them coming. Picture this at ctv.ca. Casey Colby, you were mentioning that there are plenty of parades? What do we call them? Christmas parades? Santa parades?
Bong! What do you mean? What do you call them? Yes, well, Christmas parades.
I want to be inclusive. But it was funny because in Barrie we kind of had that dark drab day, which is wet weather is the worst for you know, those kinds of parades. But everybody in Barrie pushed through it. It still felt great, even if we were a little wet.
Yeah, your candy cane's a little on the sticky side, but it's okay with a little bit of shower activity. It's better when it comes down as flurries. It's festive, right? We'll let you know in just a moment who's festive and who's kind of maybe a little on the sticky side. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the weather. Let's talk about the temperature outside your door as we speak. 5 degrees in Owen Sound, 3 in Parry Sound, 3 in Collingwood, 2 in Alliston, 3 in Toronto, 3 in Mount Forest, 0 in Newmarket, and 5 in the Sunshine City of Orillia. This is the almanac for today. 6 and -4. That's the high. That's the low. 18 degrees, 2016. Yeah. Minus 15.6 in 1879, so we're told. 7:23 it rises, 4:46 it sets. 9 hours and 23 minutes of daylight. That is the forecast radar. And considerable snowfall in northern Ontario. Considerable on the way. Little shower activity for us, a little shower activity. And is there a chance of a flurry or two? There is indeed. Let's investigate. This being the southern tip of Georgian Bay Lake Simcoe, overnight settling in at 1, 2, 3. Okay, maybe just 1 and 2. I don't know why I saw 3. Cloudy skies is what we're looking at. There's a 60% chance as the evening progresses for a little rain drizzle and low-lying fog, ladies and gentlemen. Keep that in mind if you're out on the roads this evening. 6 and 7 degrees for the highs tomorrow, mainly cloudy skies. There is a 60% chance of a shower and the winds picking up out of the, call it the west. Yeah, 30 to 50 K out of the west. This is Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill. 1 degree above and 1 degree below. That's the low this evening. Cloudy skies, 60% chance of rain and or drizzle. That is really annoying. You're trying to drive in the drizzle. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, 8 and 9 degrees, so be safe. Lots of fluid in your windshield washer, whipper, fluid tank. Sun cloud, a little peak of sunshine tomorrow, 60% chance of a shower into the afternoon. To Parry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Halliburton, 0, 1, 2, and -3 in the Highlands. A little light snow this evening in the Halliburton Highlands. Everywhere else, rain, drizzle, perhaps a flurry, but no set accumulation anywhere. And then for tomorrow, 6 and 7 degrees, cloudy skies, 60% chance of a rain-snow combination. And then, yeah, even a peak of sunshine in the Halliburton region. You're getting everything, aren't you? That's tonight and tomorrow. Now, time for the Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day extended forecast. How about those Christmas parades, Sarah? When are they? Well, how about Saturday? A sun and cloud mix, slight chance of a shower and or a flurry. That's for the Cookstown, Angus, and Midland Parade. On the Sunday, cloudy skies, 30% chance of a shower. Yeah, 7 degrees. Yeah, that would come down as a shower. That would be for the Innisfil Parade. And then the sun comes out for Monday, 6 degrees. And then the sun goes away on Tuesday. It looks like cloudy skies and showers, holding steady at 6, though. York Region, 5-day extended forecast. This is it. Saturday, sunny skies, lovely, lovely, lovely for the Orangeville Santa Claus or Christmas Parade. And then it's 30% chance of a shower on the Sunday, a high of 8 degrees, very mild. And then Monday, well, how about some sunshine and 7, and the 7 carries over into Tuesday where we get a little refreshing rain. Muskoka, Pearstown, Haliburton, it looks like Saturday being the 22nd, sunny skies for Gravenhurst. Yeah, high of 1 degree, 5 degrees for the high on Sunday. Cloudy skies, 30% chance of showers and or a few flurries. I would lean towards the flurries. And then Monday arrives, sun and cloud next 4 degrees and 5 degrees. Cloudy skies, back into the shower activity. They're saying showers. It can't be too long before it's nothing but flurries. Sarah?
Many have likely seen the orange ribbons thoughtfully placed across the country. Well, now there is a documentary about the origin story, and it resonates long after you finish watching. In fact, it stems from the northern part of our viewing region. Thank you so much for joining us. Joyce Jonathan Crone is a Mohawk matriarch and a Six Nations of the Grand Indigenous member. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about the award-winning short documentary, Red Girl Rising. What inspired the story, Joyce?
That could be a story in itself. So well over a year ago, before the filming, I, as an Indigenous woman, laid tobacco. I'm a runner and was running down my road. I happened to have it with me, not sure why. I had this tree call to me. I went to the tree, laid tobacco down, and just had said at that time, Creator, just expand my territory as an Indigenous woman. I didn't really know what that meant. And so just weeks later, I get a phone call from the Indigenous film producers asking if I would be part of a film and be the subject of a film through Hot Docs, Citizen Minutes, about ordinary people doing extraordinary things in their community.
Well, and you may be familiar to many of our viewers because you have been doing extraordinary work in Muskoka. Talk to me about Hope Arises and why that's been something that's so important to you.
Yeah, so Hope Arises became a not-for-profit in November of 2022, and just this spring we attained charitable status after only 3 years, so that's incredible. For me, Hope Arises signifies community unity and coming together and supporting Indigenous and non-Indigenous people. It's really about education. I'm a retired teacher of 34 years, and I never thought I would be back in the education field teaching people again, but it's teaching people about the truth, teaching people what they need to know if we're meant to move forward as we are as a nation. And what does that look like? What does truth look like and reconciliation look like in this country?
Well, I think part of the reason why you're so powerful when you're speaking and why this documentary is so haunting in ways, this is a very personal story for you. Can you share a little bit about that with us?
It is. It stems from growing up. I wanted to be a teacher since I was in grade 2, and just having an inner drive and strength and passion. I feel as an Indigenous woman, and all Indigenous people, because of the past that has happened in this country, we have all faced trauma and suffering and pain. And for me, Hope Arises means radical hope. It means, because we hope for things, right? Oh, I hope tomorrow will be better. I hope something will happen. But for me, I've coined radical hope. Radical hope is that you feel that there's action attached to your hope. When there's action, you can move forward. And it's a new way of being, knowing, and doing as Indigenous and non-Indigenous people in Canada.
Before we run out of time here, I know we could go on.
I know, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't be sorry.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the Red Nation International Film Festival wrapped up on Sunday. Your documentary, or the team's documentary, Red Girl Rising,
yes,
not only won Best Short Doc, but it's received incredible support from Huntsville. What did it feel like to win, and how important is community support?
It's above and beyond. So it's a W. It's a win for the Huntsville community and for Muskoka. I was told by one of our supporters that this film has put a pin in Huntsville, and that pin is going to expand. And that's part of what Hope Arises does as well. It's just expanding across the country. And so they're together. They're happening kind of at the same time. So that's exciting.
We'll leave it there for today, but congratulations, Joyce.
Thank you so much.
We will encourage everyone to go and watch Red Girl Rising. We're also going to include a link to your acceptance speech on Sunday.
Oh, thank you. And it is on Crave, so people can watch it.
Fantastic. I've been speaking with Joyce Jonathan Crone, a Mohawk activist and a matriarch, and of course, the subject behind Red Girl Rising.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Still to come here on CTV Barrie, tree farms brace for a dramatic drop in U.S. sales, why Americans are buying fewer Canadian furs this holiday season. Plus, we'll recap tonight's top stories. Stay with us.
Hi, we're Martin and Steph
from Bounce 104.1.
And this week on the show, we are giving away pairs of tickets to see Alan Doyle at Massey Hall in Toronto.
So make sure you're listening weekdays from 5:30 to 10.
Recapping our top stories, police are looking for a Grinch who's stolen a bear display set up by the Rotary Club by the Barrie waterfront. The display was part of its Festival of Trees event, and it was hit twice in the past week. $3,000 worth of items were stolen. While housing affordability remains a challenge across the country, the recreational property market appears to be strong near our region's largest ski resort. A real estate report came out today that showed continued demand for properties in the Blue Mountains despite consistently high cost. And the Magic of Lights returns to Springwater Provincial Park, and this year it's a drive through the experience designed for you to enjoy the lights and display from the comfort of your vehicle, stretching over 2 kilometers and featuring 2 million holiday lights. As Christmas tree farmers across the country prepare for the holiday season, there are concerns the trade uncertainty with the U.S. may be driving down sales numbers. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth reports.
For Christmas tree growers, this is always the busiest time of the year. Freshly cut trees are sold and shipped in time for December 25th. However, there are warning signs the industry could have a tough December.
The business is going to take a huge hit.
Colin Hughes ships more than 150,000 trees across Canada and around the world. His usual exports to the U.S. are down roughly 50% this year.
Down the eastern seaboard especially, there's I would say a nervousness.
According to Hughes, the trade war between Canada and the U.S. has pushed customers away from purchasing his trees.
General census that I was getting, in fact, some of them said, like, we can buy $300,000 worth of trees from you, which is great, but if a tariff comes on to them the last minute, it costs us an extra $50,000 in tariff, that's our profit.
The Christmas tree industry represents big business in Nova Scotia, generating more than $50 million in revenue while supporting thousands of jobs. University professor Dan Shaw says American customers are likely managing risk during a time of economic uncertainty.
People act not necessarily always on data, but on perception, and having instability of those relationships impacts people's purchasing decisions.
Colin Hughes says a drop in Christmas tree sales to the U.S. will impact his bottom line, but there is possibly some good news. If fewer trees are sold in the U.S., more trees could be available for sale here in Canada.
Orders are down this year, so there should be a surplus of trees locally.
Hughes hopes tree prices in Canada will stay the same as last year, with a greater variety for shoppers to choose from, which could help boost his business. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, New Ross, Nova Scotia.
Stock markets have dipped into the red after an early boost today linked to positive results for players in the artificial intelligence space. Let's take a look at the numbers. Now that we've reached the end of the day, the TSX was down 371 points, the Dow was down 386, and the Nasdaq was down 486. And commodities oil was down, closing at $59 a barrel. Gold was down, finishing at $4,060 an ounce. Our dollar down, ending the day at 71.02 cents U.S. BCE, which owns CTV, confirms it has laid off nearly 700 people. A Bell spokesperson says the reduction represents less than 2% of Bell Canada's workforce. It includes 650 management positions, along with 40 positions at Bell Media. Bell says the move affects non-union management positions and is part of its 3-year strategic plan focused on delivering sustainable growth across all business units. New data shows many Canadians are continuing to avoid traveling south of the border as relations with the U.S. they remain strained. Statistics Canada says the number of return trips from America by Canadian residents in September was down nearly 31% compared to last year. There were 1.6 million return trips by car, which represents a nearly 34% decline year over year. The number of return trips from overseas in general fell more than 22% compared to 2024. And for the first time ever, American car companies will soon be required to test vehicle safety using dummies that are representative of women.
We're releasing design specifications for this, the first ever advanced female crash test dummy. This means that automakers will be able to start purchasing the dummy and using it in tests.
Recent studies have shown that women are 73% more likely to be seriously injured in a head-on crash compared with men. Also, female drivers and front seat passengers are 17% more likely to be killed than their male counterparts in those same seats. Next on CTV, one of the greatest to ever play the game of tennis is being immortalized, and the Leafs are looking to keep that win streak alive. Those stories coming up next. Time now to take a look at your Thursday night primetime lineup. The New Girl is at 8 and 8:30, followed by Special Forces World's Toughest Test at 9 p.m., Criminal Minds at 10, and CTV News Barrie at 11. The Raptors were able to secure a 5th straight win when they took on the Philadelphia 76ers last night.
They've won 4 straight sets. Quick, the 3. Rack it up. I'll take it.
The Raps beat the Sixers 121-112 for their 5th consecutive victory last night. The win moved the team into 2nd place in the NBA's Eastern Conference. The Raptors will look to continue their winning streak when they take on the Washington Wizards tomorrow night. And the Leafs will be looking for a 2nd straight win when they face off against the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight.
Free for Riley, drops it back to Nylander, pulls it around Nylander, backhand shot, scores!
The Leafs snapped a 5-game losing skid with a 3-2 overtime victory over the St. Louis Blues on Tuesday. Puck drop for tonight's game against the Jackets is set just after 7 p.m. at Scotiabank Arena. The Jackets, is that a thing? I don't know. In the world of pro sports, this is a no-brainer. Roger Federer is going into the International Tennis Hall of Fame. The 20-time Grand Slam singles winner is going into the Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility. The 44-year-old retired back in 2022. Besides holding on to the men's #1 ranking for 310 weeks, he's an 8-time winner in men's singles at Wimbledon. He'll be Roger Federer, formally inducted into the Hall next summer. And hundreds of puppets, props, and memorabilia from Jim Henson's archives are going up for auction. This marks the first time that items from Henson's archives have gone to the auction block. Some of the highlights include a pair of shoes worn by Miss Piggy, puppets from Fraggle Rock, and props from the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. Great movie. A collection of artwork by the late Carol Spinney will also be available. He was the puppeteer for Sesame Street characters Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch. Case, is there a Sesame Street puppet that you relate to most closely? I think I'm a Miss Piggy.
I like Fuzzy Bear hats. I mean, remember the hat he wore? It was such a cool hat. Such a cool hat.
But
yeah.
Of course, that would make sense for you.
Ah, yes, there you go. Making sense. As the Get Up and Go makes sense. Well, let's have a little look-see right now. First thing tomorrow morning, yeah, it looks like predominantly cloudy skies start things off. There is a chance of a shower in Barrie, 4 degrees. Certainly a chance of a shower in Newmarket under cloudy skies at 2 degrees. And yes, a chance, too, of a shower coming down in Gravenhurst at 5 degrees. That's Get Up and Go forecast. Have yourself a wonderful evening, Sarah.
Well, make sure to bring that umbrella. Thanks so much, Case, and to everyone at home for joining us tonight. Have a fabulous evening.